Hi, my name is Katie Kataska, and I am the chair of the Professional Development Committee of the New Jersey State Library Association. In the Library Career Path series, we'll be interviewing librarians from a wide variety of positions within the field, from public positions to music outreach and even business librarians. So newcomers and seasoned librarians alike can learn more about the many career options available in the field that they may not have been aware of. We hope you enjoy these interviews, and please like and subscribe to our channel below to help promote the Library Career Path series. Thanks so much for watching this series. We hope you enjoy it. Take care. Okay, cool. Well, Chip, thank you for joining us today for the Library Career Path series. So just to get started, can you please give us your name, title, and current place of employment?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. Chip McCauley, I am the social media librarian for Hopewell branch, but for the entire Mercer County library system.
Mhm. And so just to go into your history a little bit, so what inspired you to become a librarian? Did you sort of choose this profession or did it just find you one day?
I think it was a little of both. I mean, I've spent so much of my time in libraries from when I was a little kid. When my parents were still in college, they would take me to the library at the university just on the weekends to play. And my mentors have always been librarians. The junior high librarian and the high school librarian really turned into a life mentor for me. And he's
Aw.
86 now. So I worked at the library in college. And so I think what it was it was sort of destiny ultimately, but you only realize that in retrospect. So I think it found me and I found it, and it just turned into a wonderful marriage.
Oh, that's very nice. And going into why you chose this exact field, was there something specific that pointed you in the direction of becoming a reference and then later a social media librarian as well?
Yeah, I had been teaching college for a number of years, both on the West Coast and then here at Mercer County Community College, and it was wonderful. But then I realized one day I wanted to help a broader spectrum of the
Mhm.
public. And I realized the way to do that is a public library, which combines literally every interest, including programming, helping people find information, working with people of all ages and backgrounds. And that's what made me finally want to switch over to being a librarian, and wanting a job that I would want to do for the rest of my life. So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And how long have you been at your current library?
Current library, I've been here a little over a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a relatively new position. Yeah,
No, very, very cool. I hope it seems like you enjoy it so far. So,
I do. I love it.
yeah. Well, since you're still new to this job, so I'm assuming you remember a little bit about the interview process. Can you describe how that process was?
Well, the interview process for this job was with four people. The branch manager, who is the head of adult services, was with, and also with the head of virtual services, who was the head of reference, and it was with the marketing librarian. So at the
Mhm.
same time. Um, and so it was questions from everyone, and it was very convivial. I mean, it's very, very friendly. There's a
Mhm.
really good team here, and that's one of the things that really sold me on wanting to work here, because I had become familiar with some of the people, and I thought, that would be great to work with them on some interesting projects.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, no, that's really great. And is your marketing librarian, is she still there as well?
she is. She's not here
Mhm.
now, but
Okay.
yes, she is as well. Yeah, so she handles one side of things, and I handle, the other side.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty common at libraries nowadays. I've started to notice.
Yeah.
So going a little bit more into the interview process, is there an asset that you possess which you feel may have helped you land your current position?
I think probably good judgment.
Hmm.
And I think that comes across in the interview. I think specifically, since this is a super public facing position, that it's important to have someone in the social media position who has very good judgment. And I think also I have a good sense of humor and a good background. So that helps. And I think that helped in the interview process.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, just even being a library, that helps.
oh yeah. And also being able to pivot in the interview from, you know, jovial to serious to get down to, well, because there are, a number of issues that come up with social media that don't
Mhm.
necessarily come up in other positions. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was good.
No, that's great. So then going into more about your day-to-day operations, what is a typical workday like for you? Not that there ever isn't a public library, but
Yeah. Yeah, there's never a public, as you know, there's never a public day in the library.
yeah.
Well, the minute I walk in the door, it's pretty fast paced for the whole rest of the day. I mean, you walk in and like everybody, you have 100 emails. Gotta get the feed up, check it out, see about the comments, make sure everything's going well, respond to a lot of stuff. I usually have post prepped fairly far in advance, but with that, I also need to leave room for things that are, of the moment or happening right now. So that's an interesting balance. And that takes up quite a bit of the day. And then I also split my time in adult services. So I'll go
Mhm.
from social media to adult services. But when I'm out there at the desk, it's important to concentrate on the patrons, the phones, everything people need. So I usually try to separate the two types of work when
Mhm.
possible. Sometimes I'm doing both at the same time because that's just what's necessary.
Yeah, yeah. And since I know you
Yeah.
work both in reference and in social media, do you find
Yeah.
that you do like more on one side than the other? Like, would you say it's a fairly even split?
Well, I think it turned into an even split. My primary job is social media librarian, but it's still very important to be out there with the people. Um, and so, but I would say more to the social media side, definitely.
hmm And I
Yeah.
know we talked a little bit about it before we started to record the video, but you didn't start at your position as a social media librarian. You said that happened along the way,
Yeah,
or
I've worked at three of the libraries in the system. I was right before this position, I was a reference librarian at the Hickory Corner branch. It's another
Mhm.
wonderful branch, and before that, the Lawrence branch. And so this position came up, and the job description was really, let's see what the word is, comprehensive. It was it was a very comprehensive job description. And so, yeah, so I went from straight reference librarianship to coming into social media librarianship,
Mhm.
and then also continuing with adult services.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
I'm also very jealous because I would like to have that even split in, in my position, but it's very nice to get to be creative and also keep the reference side of things.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. So then going on to our next question. So what skills and qualifications are required for your position? And do you feel they match the skills and qualification that you use most on a daily basis?
Yeah. I think the first of all, the basic librarianship skills are key. And also, I think that a passion for social media is key. Keeping up on things, being active in social media, just in general and in your private life, understanding trends, researching trends constantly, even some futurism, various think tanks that look at different trends even farther in the future, though that's, you never know what'll happen with that.
Mhm.
Staying on top of all the technological developments. So yeah, I would say my prep, it was very good for this. I did focus in library school on a lot of emergent technologies and future casting and things like that. So it worked out very well,
Oh, great. No, that's always
fortunately.
awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, all that starts well, hopefully ends well.
Yeah, exactly. I've been very
Yeah.
fortunate. Yeah.
No, that's great. Yeah. And like you said, it's always great to be creative in our field too. I feel like we don't always get a chance to be.
Yes, that's true. It's always fun to come up with a meme that really hits.
hmm
And so that's one of the fun parts.
Yeah, for sure. I enjoyed doing the social media for a brief time at my job, and it's always a nice change of pace.
Yeah, and what I love about it is that I get to it's always good news for the most part, unless
Yeah.
it's a library closure due to snow,
hmm
which I'm sure is good news to somebody who want, if they want a snow day. But that's what I love about it, highlighting the programs, highlighting the wonderful things that the system is doing and all the librarians are doing, being able to post pictures of happy patrons, little fun videos. It's nice to be able to be almost the community liaison,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
always fun to see how we can like incorporate community aspects into our job too. I
Yeah.
agree. So this is one of my favorite questions. So, what is the best thing about your job, and what is your least favorite thing about your job?
Well, the best thing about my job, besides the patrons here and my coworkers, I think basically what I had mentioned just a little while ago is I love being able to connect with the public in a
Mhm.
like in using social media in a positive way because there's so much, I mean, social media runs the gamut, from
Mhm.
very nice to really not nice. And this is a great way to go, okay, I'm being able to do something super positive about with social media. So that's my favorite part. My least favorite part, this is completely true, is when the screen freezes, when the computer
Oh yeah.
freezes, because I'm usually in the middle of about 10 different things. Maybe that's why the computer freezes. I don't know.
Hmm.
But that's
Uh,
my least
yeah.
favorite part.
No, I understand. I'm also the victim of having way too many tabs open than I should.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we're, and it's always it hits you when you're in the middle of something or five things that are like fairly important.
Oh, of course. It never does it when you're just doing a typical thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I like to go a little easy on the computer sometimes just to not overwhelm it. Yeah,
Understandable.
yeah.
And just curious about this part of your social media. I know like having nice pictures and things is a part of it, but are you able, we spoke to another social media librarian as well. I was just curious, are you able to do a lot of like fun videos as well, or do you find that hard to manage at your library to find the time to do those?
Well, I'll tell you, it is challenging to find the time. It is a very important aspect of the job. The average viewer, say on Instagram, will watch about 10 seconds of a video. And so when you come from, and originally when I was younger, I was interested in film directing. So when you
Hmm.
come from the point of view of having studied a lot of film, and then you say, I need to say one message in 10 seconds or less that'll come across. It's a beautiful challenge to be able to try to distill that. And of course, other people, I mean, our entire library system team contributes content if they would like to. And so some people will send in a video, some people will send in photographs. But yeah, it absolutely is a challenge to be able to balance everything and go make the videos as well, because that's very time consuming, specifically the editing.
Oh yeah, I've done it because I edit
Yeah,
these videos for regularly for our job, and I will
yeah,
say the planning and everything takes a lot of time. I mean, it's an enjoyable process, but
yeah,
it's a big bulk of our job, and on top of everything else we have going on as well. So I'm
yeah,
sure
absolutely.
you sympathize.
Yeah, oh, I do, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So then I guess like pivoting then to a sort of different question. So what are your current salary expectations and does your current job meet them? And are there also opportunities for growth in your position? As we talked about before, the library field has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, the library field has changed quite a bit. I'm very happy with the salary. As you know, I mean, public librarians are civil servants, so people can go out and
Mhm.
look up all our salaries and all of that. It
Yeah.
certainly met my expectations, and because it's a union job, you're guaranteed the bumps as time goes on. So, and of course, these days, the way society is, I'm feel very fortunate to have a job.
Yes.
But yeah, it met my expectations, and I think there's definitely room for growth, as I said, with it
Mhm.
being a union shop. So I think it's certainly wonderful for me.
Oh, good. No, that's good to hear because you
Yeah,
never know someone who's considering a job how that's going to go.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So then pivoting then to our next question. So what advice do you have for new librarian or graduate students about to enter the field?
Well, yeah, my advice, first of all, would be to ask questions, observe, see what's going on. Um, know that you have all these great ideas, see how the system works in whatever system you're in to help gradually get them through after you go through your kind of initial, period of time. And also to join committees. I regularly recommend to everyone, but to newer librarians, join NJLA committees, join ALA committees, help contribute to the field in a meaningful way. And it's also a wonderful way to network for people who want to network. But I just like, and I serve on a number of committees, that's the advice because I get a lot of fulfillment out of it. And I think it's also something where you're beyond the actual work, you're substantively helping the field. And that would be my main advice to
Mhm.
people entering the field. Yeah.
And I will say through these committees too, it's been nice to collaborate because through this I got to
Yeah.
meet you. I've gotten to meet a ton of
Yes.
librarians.
Absolutely. That's the best part of it is getting to meet new people all around the state and then see them when there's the potential when there's a conference or when there's some other type of meeting. It's great. I mean, there are wonderful librarians in this state. I mean, and everyone's extremely dedicated.
No, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then going into more about like the job aspects of our day-to-day life. So what do the job prospects look like for your type of position? Do you think more people are doing well reference and social media?
You know, it seems to be growing. And this was, if you go back even a year or two ago, I think there were many people were still trying to figure out, well, what do we call this position? And so you would see different libraries across the country trying to find a way to, well, what do we do with this? What do we call this? And I think social media librarian is very good. I think the people who have adopted emergent technologies and a number of
Mm,
other things, a very good title as well. Um, I see the need only growing. So I think in terms of the more technical aspects of things, that I think the future is very good for people who are interested in the social media side of librarianship, you know.
hmm
And I think also with reference, and many people don't realize that librarianship is still a growing field. So
hmm
it's a good thing for someone who really has a passion for working with people.
Yeah, yeah. And I think from when I was a kid, social media wasn't really a thing, but now that I've grown up more with it, it's definitely not going anywhere. And it's definitely a way for us to advertise and it's here to stay.
Yeah, it's absolutely a way to market and advertise, and it's not going anywhere. It became an integral part of our lives,
Mm.
whether people whether people like it or not. We just happen to be able to work on the friendly side of it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You got to make it work for you. So I
yeah,
get that. Yeah.
yeah.
So then going into our next question. So what has been your biggest challenge in this profession?
Let's see. My biggest challenge, I think, was in recognizing that you can have a or what you think is a great idea, and having to understand that there is a chain of command and a bureaucracy in place that has been there for a long time, is there for a reason, usually functions very, very well, but that you want to you want to be able to figure out, well, okay, how does my particular bureaucracy work? And how can I introduce these ideas in a way that is productive? Because every library has a different budget, every library has a system has a different vision. So I'd say that's the most challenging part. And I think the longer you are in the system, um, the more adept you get at presenting ideas and when's a good time and and you get to know, well, what does, for instance, this person, what are they more likely to say yes to? What are they more likely to say no to? For any number of reasons, whether it's an insurance reason or it's a cost reason. Um, so I would say that was a challenge, but it was a positive challenge. You know, it was one of those things, it was something to learn about because then when you figure it out, then you're more effective at being able to innovate.
No, I agree. And I had this conversation with a previous individual that we interviewed, but just even with all the new technology incoming in, just sometimes it is a re-education process for a lot of us because it's been different from the way we've done things in the past.
Right, and like we were discussing before we came on with the recording, you know, librarians are lifelong learners.
Yes.
So, I mean, and I think that's what draws a lot of people to the field, is just the love of constantly learning new things. And that is a part of our job. And I think it's getting to be a part of many, many people's jobs in many fields. Including in terms of the economy with people just having to get new degrees and new training like throughout, the lifespan. But yeah, absolutely.
No, I definitely agree. Okay, and then our final question for this interview is, are there any accomplishments during your library career so far that you are particularly proud of?
I am particularly proud of, let's see, that's a really good question. I would have to say that we started a county-wide virtual poetry program uh,
Hmm.
when I came on board, so that all the poets in the county, and it's a virtual program, so all the poets in the county who want to read their poems, and sort of like an old school poetry reading, but we're able to get people from all over the place, including people who may not be able to leave their homes and things like
Hmm.
that. I would have to say that I think was a very good accomplishment, and but I don't take sole credit for anything that goes on here because it's a team. But I love that it became a tradition. Yeah, which makes me always look forward to National Poetry Month.
Oh, that's very nice. Are you intending to do that again, or is that like a
We
regular
are.
program? Okay.
Yeah, we're doing it again this April. We
Hmm.
usually like to have it at the end of the month to cap off our poetry activities, and it is something that I look forward to. And I also very much am passionate about the ESL classes that I teach. And so that's a real highlight of my week in terms of the of
Hmm.
programming. Um, I think it's very important, and it's incredibly satisfying and engaging. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say I feel like ESL is also increasing because even at our library, I've noticed a lot more demand for that type of programming. So it's
Yeah,
definitely
there's
something that's changing.
Yeah, a lot of that's changing, as we know, politically. I was also just made coordinator of what we've put together as an ELL and citizenship practice, test
Oh,
practice
nice.
uh, program here, because we have a number of very wonderful ESL programs, ELL programs throughout the system. So what we're doing is just sort of bringing it under one umbrella so people see, okay, here's everything we have to offer with this.
Mhm.
Um, so I think it's a wonderful thing for anyone who wants to learn English, and it brings me in touch with people from all over the world. And I always take it as an opportunity to start learning their
Mhm.
languages. So I break out the Rosetta Stone or what have you, and I start
Yeah.
learning a little bit. But studying a language as you know, is a lifelong process. So yeah,
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's once you start, it never really stops. So,
that's right. I mean, it opens up a whole world of literature and
yeah.
culture and being able to connect with people. So it's a wonderful thing.
Oh, I know that's really great. Yeah, thank you again, Chip, for joining us today. It has been really great to talk to you and learn more about your job. Again, I'm infinitely jealous.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Katie. It was great to talk to you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.